what's left. That is what's left of Grenfell. It's weird when you're here in person and you can see it. The first thing that pops into your mind, at least, is the real amount of loss of life. The real loss of life. When you're there in person and you can see it in front of you, it's completely different to when you're seeing it on the TV. Simple as that. It's a completely different emotion. It really sets in. You really understand what has just happened when you see that building in front of you. And I've been around, so Latimer Road station is just on the other end, and I've been round and just past Latimer Road station on pretty much every single side road, up going towards the Westway Sports Centre where many survivors are at the moment. It's just loads and loads and loads and loads of missing posters, tons, flowers. The amount of posters specifically of missing people and dead people, but missing people specifically, is incredible. They go on for days. It's endless, absolutely endless. And I'm startled. I mean, I'm a bit at loss for words, to be honest, because, as I said, when you see it in person, it's completely different to when you see it on TV or online. And walking around and hearing conversations that are going on between members of the community, and everyone here is just talking about that. It has not moved on. This place has not moved on at all. And they won't until when justice occurs. Real justice. Everyone here, from what I've heard today, is that sentiment of, we're not going to stop until real justice occurs, until when we have real transparency, real clarity, real figures, real numbers, real facts, and just real justice. No cover-up, no stitch-up, no hiding away facts, no people responsible getting away with it, none of that. The sense around here is they're not going to stop by all means necessary, and I fully support that. I fully agree with that. And going into what's happened today, Theresa May and her government are taking control of the situation now. They've relinquished the council of their responsibilities in terms of the inquiry, and you know, trying to get all of these survivors sorted in terms of accommodation, etc. It looks like the government have stepped in and they're taking control now, which in a sense helps, and in a sense doesn't, because we know what this government can be capable of. We know what they can put themselves into. We've seen it countless times. Sorry, Hillsborough, the sex abuse scandals, none of those are resolved. You know, fully resolved. I mean, resolved 100%. So the fact that they're taking charge of this now as well doesn't really give you much hope. Let's put it that way. But what it does is that it puts figures that everyone is aware of, everyone knows, the Prime Minister, the Home Secretary, etc. Everyone knows who these people are. People there are people nationwide who don't really know who members of the council are, who, you know, members of the TMO are, who members of the cladding firms. People need to dig up. But everyone knows who Theresa May is, everyone knows who the Home Secretary is, everyone knows who Sajid Javid is, everyone, you know. So it does give you a sense of, okay, if the government are going to take it from here, then everything from this point on is fully government. The responsibility lies with the government. So now it's down to them. If they want to assist, and really, really assist, trying to get people the justice that they deserve, people that are responsible for all of this are all held accountable. All the cladding on every building in this country is wiped off and taken off. If the government wants to do that, then by all means, I fully support the decision. But as I've said, inquiries in the past haven't gone to plan. And I've got a sense that with this government, I don't see true justice coming through. I just don't see it. So, only time will tell. But, so far, for example, Theresa May promised that within 3 weeks everyone would be housed. Everyone would be given accommodation. Today is 3 weeks. Exactly. There are many, many people in Westway right now still sleeping on that floor. There are many, many people still housed in hotels. And people are going to come out and say, yeah, but the accommodation was offered. The government's done what they have had to do. From what I've seen, what I've heard, people are getting relocated to complete different areas. They're getting relocated to places that just is not sufficient enough for a permanent home. Now we know the government are going to use this and say, yeah, we offered everyone accommodation within the 3-week deadline. We've done what we've had to do. We know how temporary housing works. We've seen it many, 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 many times. And those who live in council estates know exactly what they're on about, me included. I've seen cases personally in front of me where people have been housed in temporary accommodation and they've been forgotten about. Forgotten about. How temporary housing is there to assist in getting people some sort of accommodation whilst they look for permanent housing and they try and get that sorted as soon as possible. There are people in temporary accommodation that have been there for years. There are cases where people have been in temporary accommodation for years. Whether that's 2 years or 3 years or 4 years or 5 years or more, it happens. These people that have had their houses destroyed and burnt to ashes do not deserve to be put in temporary accommodation for years. And the government have had no reassurance whatsoever that that is going to be avoided. So of course people are going to reject. Of course people are going to be looking at what they've been offered and they're going to say, no, this isn't enough. We don't want to take that risk. We want to be making sure that we have a permanent home given to us within the area that we can call home and move on from there. That has not happened. That has not happened. Instead, we've had cases of people that have been offered temporary accommodation, not near to here, but probably about a mile or two away from here, which by sounds isn't too bad, but look at what they're being offered. Not sufficient enough. People are being relocated to complete different cities. That's out of order. It's out of order. This is the richest. Where I am right now, and where that building is, that's burnt to ashes right there. Where we are is the richest borough in Europe. Europe. There is absolutely no reason why the people that have survived can't be given accommodation within this borough here. No reason. Because from what I can see, there are tons and tons and tons of developments of luxury accommodation. Tons, but there's none of social housing. There's none of council housing being built. I can't see any. Within any borough in London, I can't see social housing being built. Instead, what I see instantly, every road I'm on, luxury housing development. Luxury housing development. Luxury housing development. Most of them 80% sold. Out of order. people within this class, so I say the working class, the poorer class, are being ignored. And now if this happened, it's just the same old story, really, isn't it? And these people are crying for help. Where's the empathy gone? Where's the sympathy? Instead, what we're getting is people coming, and I've seen it in comments. I want to thank everyone that's left comments on my last 2 videos about Grenfell and given their views. But what I've seen from a few, not all, a few, the majority are fully sympathetic. From what I've seen from a few, it's just raw lack, I don't even know what to say, lack of sympathy, lack of compassion, just pure ignorance, arrogance, ignorance. There's no vocabulary I can use, just pure, I don't think it's hate, it's not hate, hate's a different thing, but it's just people just going, forget about them, you know. That's disgusting, disgusting, and it's sick. And as I've said, these people that are here and have had to go through what they've gone through, they need to be shown some compassion and some empathy. Because if it was you that was in that building and you've had to survive what they've had to survive and you've had to go through what they've had to go through, you sure as hell wouldn't be saying to everyone, forget about me. You'd be crying for help. Show some compassion. And people are using the immigrant excuse already, and that blew my mind. I could not believe the amount of people showing or putting comments up saying, oh, you know, most of them were illegals, most of them were subletting, most of them were, you know, not contributing, most of them were on benefits. How do you know? How do you know? The fact is, people in that building have still not been identified. People in that building, whether dead or alive, have not been, well, the survivors, we know who the survivors are, they're in Westway right now. But the people who are missing, the people who are dead, okay, people have not been held accountable. So how have people come to the conclusion that these people that are dead or are missing were subletting and are illegal immigrants? We don't even have names. We have names from the people in the community, that's it. So who are you, if you're making these claims, to come out and say, yeah, they're on benefits, they're illegals, they were subletting to 50 odd people in one flat? How do you know? Just because one flat was found with 42 bodies doesn't mean that they were all subletting. There were they. Come on. Can we have some straightforward thinking and some sympathy and some empathy for the people that have suffered? Can we not? Is the shift happening in Britain? Is what we're seeing in the States with Trump, etc. and all that, is that happening here as well? Are we seeing that now? And people are going to say, don't make this political. It's fully political. Because from what I'm about to show you as well, the last picture that I'm going to leave you with, why? Why has this happened? Why? Ignorance. Lack of care. Trying to save a buck. And simply looking out for the rich and not looking out for the poor. It's as simple as that. Austerity. It comes down to that. It comes down to that. Whether you like it or not, it comes down to that. Cladding was on that building just for the fact that rich people were moving to the area and they had something nice to look at. And it's cost the lives of hundreds. And I'm going to say hundreds because we know it's hundreds. The fire service knows it's hundreds. The fire service have been gagged and told to keep quiet. And that's come from firemen themselves. So we know it's in the hundreds. But that death toll still has not been released. And the amount of missing bodies still has not been released. Why? Ask yourself. But I'm going to leave you with that picture. Why? Why has that happened? Why is that building ash right now? Leave me your thoughts and comments in the comment section below. And we're not going to keep quiet. We're just not going to keep quiet. Until this is settled, we are not going to keep quiet by any means necessary. Take care.